Hi, this is Randy from LG, and I'm here to talk to you about LG French door refrigeration. You know, LG has the largest configurations of French doors than any other manufacturer out there. And as you probably know, customers with their situation want the biggest fridge they can get, whether it be a space configuration or a cost configuration. This happens to be the LFX 31925. 31 cubic feet of capacity, the largest currently in the industry, and it fits in a standard 36-inch width. Now let's talk about the style and design of LG. As you know, LG always has its very distinctive, very modern, sophisticated look, and this French door refrigerator obviously reflects that. Contoured doors, matching metal handles, and our integrated dispenser all give you a nice seamless look to the refrigerator itself. Even the dispenser itself is monochromatic to blend into the refrigerator. And like you expect from LG, really beautiful, nice interface, great quality feel and controls on this refrigerator. Now let's take a look on the inside. A key feature of most LG French door refrigerators with ice and water in the door is our Slim Space Plus ice system. Now this is our latest generation of this that brings us more usable capacity than any other manufacturer in this refrigerator itself. Now the keys to the Slim Space Plus ice system is literally a redesign of the ice maker itself. We changed the shape of the ice cubes, we removed the heater. In case you didn't know, most ice makers in a refrigerator, or freezer rather, actually have a heater element inside. So you freeze the ice, you melt it a little bit so it'll dump, and then when the wet ice falls in the bin, it'll refreeze and you get that hard, clumpy ice. While just changing the shape of the ice cubes, and it literally has a twisting motion, it'll pop the ice cubes out so that you get better quality ice, more reliability, and less energy usage. So that's the redesign, and by having it slimmer now, we actually have storage on the door. So you can store up to 12 beverage cans, for example, in the door, and you still have 100% use of space on the inside. Most of our competitors that have ice and waters in a French door take up a whole cubic foot of space inside of the refrigerator itself, and quite frankly, that's why people want French door refrigerators. They want these wide open spaces on the inside. And LG's Slim Space Plus ice system allows us to get the most usable capacity in all of our French door refrigerators. Now, obviously a big reason customers are switching over to new refrigerators, well, probably because theirs has died, right? But it's also about energy efficiency also. And of course, all LG French door refrigerators are Energy Star. And a big part of that Energy Star story is our linear compressor. LG happens to be the largest compressor manufacturer in the world. And this new compressor design actually has fewer moving parts and has less points of friction. So if you think about it, less friction means higher durability. It's going to be quieter, smoother, and more energy efficient. And we back it with a 10-year parts warranty. So if you remember, we have a 10-year warranty on our motor and our washers. If you think about it, now we have a 10-year parts warranty on the motor in most of our French door refrigerators. Again, that's all about the linear compressor. That linear compressor is actually part of our smart cooling system. Most of our French door refrigerators now feature the linear compressor, digital sensors, and multi-airflow. In the back of our refrigerator, there are cutouts in the back of the walls that help airflow through multiple levels of the refrigerator. You'll even see that our door bins have cutouts to help the air flow up through these door bins. So by talking to multiple digital sensors, we're able to get temperatures within 1 degree difference from the door bins to the back of the refrigerator, keeping that milk fresher longer inside of the refrigerator. And in this 31 cubic foot, I can actually store 4 gallons of milk in the door and still have room for my condiments in the front. So a huge story with smart cooling. So it's the linear compressor, talking to digital sensors, and by the way, this 31 cubic foot actually has 10 digital sensors throughout. Talking with the multi-airflow, it gives us very accurate cooling. The linear compressor also has a linear output, meaning it only has to work as hard as it needs to. So what happens overnight while you're sleeping and I need to maintain cooling, it operates at a fraction of its output instead of operating at 100%. So you don't waste energy and I don't get temperature swings up and down inside the refrigerator itself. Now this 31 cubic foot actually has something extra in that smart cooling system, and we call it Smart Cooling Plus. This has dual evaporators. So this is our first French door product that we've brought to you with dual evaporation. A separate evaporator for the fresh food section versus the one in the freezer. So I can independently cool up top, versus down below. There's no sharing of air between the two compartments, no sharing of odors, nor does humidity get into the freezer section. So that also makes it more energy efficient overall. So that's Smart Cooling Plus. Twin evaporators, not compressors, twin evaporators, part of the actual Smart Cooling Plus system here in our 31 cubic foot French door refrigerator. So you may have noticed this blue light in the back of the 31 cubic foot French door and wondered what that was. We call it the fresh air filter. And what this is actually a deodorizer. There's a charcoal filter in the back, and there's a physical fan that's going to pull air through that filter and deodorize it. So it runs about 10 minutes every 2 hours. And in that 2 hours, it'll pull 18 cubic feet of air through that charcoal filter and deodorize it. Now let's say you have leftovers and maybe you had a really strong dish like garlic surprise, for example, and you have leftovers. Well, when you place that inside, you don't necessarily want those odors to get into the other foods that are inside of your refrigerator. So from the front control panel, you can actually force that fan on to work more aggressively for about 4 hours. That way it'll deodorize more aggressively inside and protect everything else from your garlic surprise that you put inside of there. We do recommend you change that fresh filter about every 6 months. So you will be seeing charcoal filter replacements coming very soon to your stores. So that's the fresh air filter. Now, as I mentioned before about the exterior styling, how beautiful they are, well, the interiors of our refrigerators are also very beautiful. This 31 cubic foot, very slim, low profile shelving, very clean and uncluttered. And again, thanks to our slim Space Plus ice system, it looks much more uncluttered than any of our other competitors' products that are out there. You've got the slide-away shelf for convenience, so you can put the taller items in without having to separate your freezer shelves themselves, or refrigerator shelves. Then we've got our 4-part crisper system. So this is pretty standard in all of our refrigerators. Here in the 31, it has a little bit slight difference in cosmetics, but we have 2 crispers on either side that are humidity controlled, so you can control the right levels for your fresh fruits and vegetables. Then we have our little bonus drawer in the middle. And it's a bonus for whatever you want to put in there. You could put drinks, snacks, you could put 2 dozen eggs in there, whatever you want to use it for. And then finally is our Glide and Serve deli drawer. And as you may have noticed in the 31, you can actually open it up in very tight spaces without having to open up the doors all the way. This is a temperature controlled drawer, so it's got 3 different settings on the control panel. It'll do produce, deli, and meat settings. Well, the meat setting is actually the coldest setting. So it'll actually hover around 34 degrees. So you could put your fresh cuts of meat in there and they're going to stay very fresh and safer longer. So I don't know if it's ever happened to you before, but if you ever keep like ground beef in the back of the fridge and just don't feel like cooking it for a couple of days, you start getting a little nervous about it sitting in there. I'd feel a lot more comfortable having fresh cuts of meat ready to cook, ready to go inside of that drawer. If you don't want to use it for meats at that setting, why not put cold beverages in there? They'll stay a little colder than the rest of the refrigerator. So temperature controlled settings on the Glide and Serve deli drawer. And don't forget the beautiful LED lighting. I call it 3D LED. Huge LED lighting up top as well as the interior side lit LED panels give you very, very bright interior, and with all the clear glass inside, you can actually see what's inside your refrigerator, making it easier. Customers love to see the LED lighting itself. Very beautiful interior refrigerator. Now, most of our French door refrigerators that have ice and water do have our taller dispenser. So this one's almost 13 inches tall. So the whole idea here is enabling you to get the tall water bottles and refill them a lot easier. I don't know if you've, like me, but my old refrigerator, I basically had to tilt the glass and point a finger back trying to get water into that tall glass. Well, now with the taller dispenser, the water actually comes from the front. So if I had a glass, I could get ice from the back and water from the front area. Some of our other refrigerators actually have a pulled out shelf that you could set a water pitcher down and simply fill up the pitcher that way, making it a lot easier for you. So the taller dispenser, it's a nice convenience and something that sets LG apart from everybody else. Beautiful controls with the LED lighting. Of course, you can always set the settings for the refrigerator temperatures, the freezer temperatures. It'll remind you when you need to change your water filter. It'll also enable you to have a child lock. So if you don't want the kids getting in and messing up with the controls, you can press and hold the child lock and it'll actually lock them out of making your refrigerator a freezer, if you will. But again, seamless integrated monochromatic controls with the tallest dispenser, if you will, in the industry. Very beautiful in the 31925. All right, so since we have the largest French door refrigerator available, 31 cubic feet total, You've got about 20.7 cubic feet up top in the fresh food section. And the other side of that is the freezer. 10 cubic feet of capacity, the largest freezer space available on any French door refrigerator. And nice convenience to open up the freezer is our smart pull handle. Just an easy lift, pushes back the door, making it easier to open up the freezer section itself. And to take advantage of the space on the inside, LG is going to offer you 3 tiers of organization. So you have your convenience drawer up top. That's for all your convenience frozen foods. That would be for your ice cream, your peas, whatever you want to pop in there. Down below is your long-term storage. That would be for your heavy meats, your hams, your roast. But now in between is a slide-out drawer. It's flat, kind of recessed. You could actually put frozen pizzas, frozen dinners. It's just making it easier to organize your food inside of this larger freezer space and making it easier to get in and get out. Because if you think about it, the quicker I'm in the freezer, the quicker I'm out, the better off my energy efficiency and my food's going to be. Because again, it's all about food preservation and food freshness. So that's the 3-tiered organization, taking advantage of that huge 10 cubic feet of freezer space inside of this 31 cubic foot French door. All right, so we've talked about a lot of great features on this 31 cubic foot French door. One more feature I want to point out, and you'll start seeing it come into a lot of our newer refrigerators in the very near future, is smart diagnosis. That sounds familiar. We introduced it in the laundry a year ago, and now it's starting to creep its way into all of our other products. So you could actually demonstrate this on the floor with the refrigerator if you're able to get power to this particular unit. So if you remember, smart diagnosis is all about making it easier to diagnose any type of problem that your customer might have. So let's say, for example, your customer had an error code come up and they couldn't figure out what was wrong. They'd call up LG, we would take them through the steps, and they would literally just hold up the phone to a certain area of the product and it'll send out a tone. Now I'm going to show you actually how you can demonstrate this on the floor. So with the right-hand refrigerator door open, you're going to notice that there's a little speaker up in the right-hand corner by the actual hinge itself, and it's labeled Smart Diagnosis. So with this door open, so you can see that speaker, go to the control panel, engage child lock. Basically press and hold it for about 5 seconds so it locks out the panel. Then you're going to press the freezer button for 5 seconds. You'll see it black out on the control panel itself. You'll hear it count off. Sounds like a fax tone. There's hundreds of parameters inside of this refrigerator that are checked. So when a customer does this when they call into LG, they'll hold their phone up to that speaker and it'll transmit that signal into us. So sometimes it's something very simple that we can actually walk the customer through over the telephone and solve whatever issue they might be having. That way it saves a trip for having a technician come out and them from having to take a day off from work. Otherwise, if it's something more complicated, then we send that information out to the technician, and hopefully he's armed to work on it when he shows up for the first visit. So that's LG Smart Diagnosis. Now it's coming into all of our products. Great technology, great innovation from LG. All right, so sum it up. LG's got the largest configuration of French door refrigerators than any other manufacturer. A lot of customers are very frustrated when they have restricted spaces and can't get a very large refrigerator. So this is a standard 36-inch wide refrigerator. 31 cubic feet of capacity, the largest that's available out there. Some customers only have a 33-inch space. Well, LG's got options for them also. We've recently introduced 2 models, both with a 25 cubic foot of capacity. That's full-size capacity in a 33-inch configuration. One with and one without ice and water in the door. That's great for those customers. And there's still yet those customers with smaller spaces. We do offer a 30-inch wide French door refrigerator, available, of course, in stainless, white, or smooth black. So this 31 cubic foot has the best of everything LG has to offer you. Beautiful styling, the tallest dispenser in the world, and quite frankly, the largest configuration and capacity of any other manufacturer. Our slim Space Plus ice system recessed in the door gives us all this usable capacity, beautiful interior, great convenience, and the largest freezer available. And don't forget LG Smart Cooling. That LG Smart linear compressor that's offered in most of our refrigerators now gives you higher energy efficiency and better performance. Combined with the multi-airflow, talking with the digital sensors, and this one with the extra with dual evaporators gives you great energy efficiency and great performance, keeping your food fresher longer, and of course keeping your frozen food fresher longer also. So it's LG's 31 cubic foot, the LFX 31925. Look for more 31 cubic foot configurations coming soon. Thanks for watching.